What's good, Giants fans? Coming back at you with another edition of Giants Conversations. I'm just out here cruising, and I figured I'd drop an edition of Giants Conversations because I've been thinking about these wide receivers, man, and what's going to be the outlook for these wide receivers moving forward. So we'll go through each one and kind of play a little thing of cut, trade, or keep. Okay, so that's how we'll do it: cut, trade, or keep. Now this is not only for this season, but also moving forward for the future. That's what these kind of conversations are based on, not just for this season, but also for the future of the New York Giants and what they might do and what you would do if you were in the New York Giants shoes. So that being said, let's get into it. So we'll start with some of the obvious ones. First one on deck, let's just get him out the way. That's Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay is hurt right now. He has not produced. He was signed to be a number one receiver back in 2021, last year, with the Dave Gettleman, Jason Garrett, Joe Judge era. Obviously has not performed as he should have. I think he only has 2 catches for the entire season. Ain't nothing to do with Kenny Golladay but cut him. That's the only thing you could do with Kenny Golladay. Now, are they going to do that this season? I believe they should probably IR Kenny Golladay, and whether that's for the season or just for 4 games or whatever, because he is hurt now. So you just need to IR him and let him get healthy, physically and maybe even mentally too, because it seems like something's wrong upstairs with Kenny. Or maybe it's just in his chest, in his heart. I don't know. I don't want to question his heart too much, because when I watch the tape, God does seem like he tries. He goes out there, he makes blocks, and he seemed like he's putting some effort out there. He's just not producing, and it's probably because his skills may have deteriorated based on all the injuries. So it's nothing to do with Kenny Golladay right now. In my opinion, if I were the Giants, I would probably IR Kenny Golladay and just look to cut him next season, So next guy, another hot button topic, Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney has got hamstrings made of confetti. I mean, this dude just cannot get it together on the field for 2 seconds, and he's hurt. He's electric when he's out there. I get it, y'all. I get it. He's fantastic if he plays, when he plays, the little bit we've seen of him. But your best ability is availability, and this guy is clearly not available. Now, this might be a little unpopular take. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm go ahead and say it anyway. If I were the Giants, I would do my best to get Kadarius Toney as healthy as possible and showcase his skill set at some point during this season, whether it be towards the end of the season. Maybe you IR him, okay? Let him get completely healthy as he can be, and let him play the last couple games of the season or whatever have you. Hopefully we in the playoffs. Let him play the playoff games. Feature him on offense like he should be featured, because he's a dynamic talent. He's obviously the probably most talented wide receiver we got on the roster. And then come off season, you get him out of there, because it's obviously this cat's not going to be able to stay healthy consistently. And as I said, best ability is availability. So that's, I think, what you need to do with Kadarius Toney. IR him, put him on injured reserve, And then after that, you can look to probably trade him in the offseason. Give him some games to get under his belt this year so people can see the talent, 'cause nobody wants to trade for an injured player. Not very many people do. So you got to try to get him somewhat healthy. I don't know what you got to do to his hamstrings to get him to hold up. I don't know how you gonna do that. I'm not a doctor, but yeah, get this guy healthy, man, and then you're gonna have to get rid of him, man. He ain't the answer. I'm sorry. It's not gonna work out. Now, Shep, I mean, that is what it is, man. We already know Shep's probably done here. He says he still wants to play, but his body may tell him otherwise. That's how a lot of people, sometimes that pride just get in the way. I don't think Sterling Shepard is going to play another down of football again. I could be wrong, but if he does, it's not going to be for the New York Giants. You just can't take up money or a roster spot for sentimental reasons. We bought him back this year. That was good. I applaud the Giants for doing that, for staying loyal to their players, but I don't think Sterling Shepard is in the plans of the future of the New York Giants, so he's obviously got to be a cut candidate anyway. So now we looking at who we got next. Richie James. Let's go into Richie James. He's probably one of the receivers that not a lot of people talk about because he's just a workman type of receiver. Just goes out there, does what he's supposed to do. Nothing flashy, but he catches passes when he needs to. He's been the Giants' most reliable target so far this season. But he's just not a number one. He's just not a guy that you're going to go into week in and week out relying on. So with Richie James, I'd probably offer him a small deal to come back, just because he's going to know the offense. You need guys that know the offense. We just talked about 3 receivers that you're probably going to move on from. So you're going to need a guy that knows the system, that can teach some of the younger players.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
About what the system's about, and also he's a good receiver. Not a great one, not a bad one. He's a good one. He's average. So that's a guy that's valuable, in my opinion, just to keep around as you continue to develop your program and build your system. So I would keep Richie James if he's affordable. Based on the way he's playing right now, I don't think he would outprice himself for the Giants if you bring him back on a 1-year deal or something like that. So Richie James I would keep. I honestly would. He's a good, solid receiver. Basically a poor man Sterling Shepard. And so I'd bring Richie James back as long as he continues to stay healthy. All right, y'all, stay healthy, and also continue to produce the way he's been doing so far. All right, David Sills. I give it to him. He's a hard worker. The guy tries. He's an effort player, man, but he's not cut out to be an NFL wide receiver. I would definitely cut David Sills and move on from him. He's probably not going to want to take a practice squad deal, especially since he's playing a major role in the offense. He's probably going to want to at least try to, further his career by going to another team and competing for a starting role. So I would move on from David Sills. Unless he wanted to come back as a 4th or 5th guy, but you can't bring him back in a major role at all. You can't do that. He's not an NFL quality receiver, So I would cut David Sills. Man, shout out to David Sills. Good thing he made the roster, man, because we sure could use him. We sure need him at this point, just based on the injuries, man. And he's been able to stay healthy for some odd reason, but you got to move on from him after this season. Let him play out this season. I wouldn't do anything this year. He's on the roster. He's healthy. So, I mean, he's healthy. So you need some bodies out there. You know what I'm saying? So keep Sills around, let him play out the string, and then look to upgrade, move on next season. Now Darius Slayton, he's a guy that I know a lot of Giants fans want to move on from this season. I've been one to defend Darius Slayton, and I'll continue to defend Darius Slayton for this year because I do think he's a better receiver than Richie James and David Sills, and probably Kenny Golladay and at this point, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what Rondell Robinson or Kadarius Toney really is right now. Kadarius Toney is probably the most talented receiver you got, but Darius Slayton is the most productive, I would say that. He's the most productive receiver you got. He's led the team in catches 2 of the past 3 years and receiving yards 2 of the past 3 years. So now, as far as moving forward, look, like I said, I defend Darius Slayton. I like Darius Slayton or whatever, but I would definitely look to upgrade in the offseason. I'm a realist. I'm not one content creator that's just going to defend a player regardless. I'm about the Giants. You see the hat, man. It's a fresh fitted, by the way, y'all. But you see the hat, man, NY. So that's what I'm about. New York Giants, and we're going to have to move on from Darius Slayton. He's kind of fell out of the fans' graces. The fans are down on him, and I just don't. A player like that's not confident, that's got some mental issues apparently going on, and it's not mental like he's crazy. It's just his confidence. He's down on himself. You can tell, you can feel it. When he dropped that pass, he was beating himself up, and you don't want to see that as you don't want to see that from a player, because that means he's not confident and he's not truly, I feel like he's not truly believing himself right now, and any little mistakes he makes is going to weigh heavy on him, heavier than a normal receiver would, where they could just shake it off and be like, all right, let's move on. So I would look to move on from Darius Slayton actually this year, unless he just goes out there in these next for the rest of the season and just completely lights it up. Then of course, you have to visit that situation and think about bringing him back. But I don't see that happening, just based on the way he's been used so far this season. I don't think the coaches really like him that much in their system, and I just think he's down on himself right now. Hopefully Darius Slayton can get it together. I'm pulling for the guy, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately I'm pulling for the New York Giants. So I think you might have to move on from Darius Slayton after this year. So tell me what y'all think, man. What y'all think about these receivers, man? Because, man, it's a mess. It's a mess. Did I forget anybody? I don't think I forgot anybody in this episode. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the practice squad guys, anything like that, Oh, Wandale Robinson. That's what I forgot. Wandale Robinson. He's hurt right now. But, yeah, Wandale Robinson is a second-round draft pick. There's no way the Giants are going to move on from him after this year. Especially that's the guy that Joe Shane and Brian Dable drafted. He's obviously going to be a part of the future. As far as his outlook for this year is, I would sit him, man, until he's completely healthy, man, because this is the guy that they're probably going to want to showcase in their offense. That's the guy they drafted. He's a high draft pick, a second-round draft pick. That's nothing to sneeze at, The first 3 rounds of the draft, you want those guys to come in and contribute immediately if possible. And so I do believe that Wandale Robinson will be a major part of this team moving forward once he gets healthy. If he can stay healthy, we don't know. Right now he's got a knee injury. I believe it's an MCL sprain. So we'll see if he can make his way back on the field and give the Giants offense something to believe in from this receiving core, man. But that being said, man, the only ones I'm looking at probably bringing back is Wan'Dale Robinson, because of his draft status and the fact that he was drafted by the current regime. Richie James, if he'll come back on a cheap deal just to give you a veteran presence in the locker room, because you need veterans. You can't have a five rookies on your team starting at wide receiver. So Wan'Dale Robinson, Richie James, I would look to bring back. I don't think you bring back Slayton. I don't think Slayton would probably want to come back at this point. Unless he does, he just goes off the next few games. So that's kind of how I look at the wide receiver room. Let me know your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about those wide receiver position. Like I said, this is Giant Conversations. I want to have a conversation with me and the fans of the New York Giants. So if you guys can let me know what it is and what it ain't, as far as how you feel about the wide receiver positions, not only this year, but moving forward. Moving forward, I like to do these Giant Conversations because, I'm a type of guy I like to look to the future. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could tell in my content, man, the way I give you some of these hypothetical situations. So let me know what y'all think moving forward. Yeah, we off to London to face the Green Bay Packers, man. I'll plug in my prediction here. I'm not going to go into a review because that's what we did, me and Coach Ed, with the game plan. And also we did some with Big Pat Sports Talk as well. So I'm not going to go into the review, but I will give you a prediction. I do believe the Giants are going to win the game. I think they're due to be a top team. I think this is the year that we start to get it together and we really start to put the league on notice. And I think it's going to be done by the pass rush. I really do. I think KT is going to come in and show why he was the number 5 pick in the NFL draft. So look out for him. Look out for Saquon Barkley to continue his revenge tour. And you might see a spark from a receiver. Maybe it's Slayton. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's Richie James, or maybe it's one of these guys, Marcus Johnson, whoever they call up from the practice squad. Maybe it's the tight ends. I don't know. But I've been on here long enough. I don't want to make my videos too long. But that being said, man, enjoy the rest of your day, man. I'm out and about, man. Enjoying this nice, beautiful Saturday, man. I hope y'all are doing the same. And until next time, y'all, peace.